No, I look good. That's the difference. Is that you were
do
wearing
look good.
You're wearing
You're not gonna
sneakers.
throw that in my face.
You got a t-shirt on. Like
You look like a defendant. Look like you're trying to beat a drinking and driving charge. He doesn't have any priors, Your Honor. Look at him. He's wearing his Chelsea boots. He's a, what do they call it? A productive member of society.
There are comedians who are funny, and then there are comedians who are dangerous to disagree with. Ricky Gervais and Bill Burr fall in both categories, and these are the moments that prove exactly why nobody walks away from that exchange with a win.
I never knew you were this weird.
Really? in a nice way? Yeah.
But so...
Every time Joe Rogan wanders into questionable territory, Bill Burr is there, ready and willing to call it out.
Does it make you more aggressive?
What?
Elk.
No, Joe, you lunatic. If somebody gets in my face, that might cause me to get more lunatic. I eat a little bit of protein. You had to beat the out of people for like 3 decades before you could like chill, smoke a little weed, put on your Little Rascals hat, and just chill out.
We all saw what happened when Chris Rock was on that stage. The real question is what Ricky would have done in his place. You're about to find out.
People saying, oh, what would have happened if Ricky had been hosting it? And I said, nothing, because I wouldn't have made a joke about his wife's hair. I'd have made a joke about her boyfriend. Yes. And then that trended. That made the papers, and it just went on and on. That's a big thing, though, to slap someone at...
It's insane.
It's insane. It's insane.
Like, there's so much about you that's funny that you're not even trying to be funny. Your whole outfit is hilarious. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
A shirt and pants is an outfit?
You're dressed like that. You're going to sing that, what is that song? Splish Splash, I was taking a bath with your stupid little slippers that you're wearing.
Ricky Gervais doesn't have many recurring targets, but Mel Gibson is absolutely one of them, and has been for years.
How you doing, all right? Cheers. I've had a couple. I like a drink as much as the next man. Unless the next man is Mel Gibson.
To understand why, Mel Gibson had a fresh DUI charge and a very well-documented history of wild remarks already attached to his name. Ricky was always going to have something to say about that.
Right. A few years ago, on this show, I made a joke about Mel Gibson getting a bit drunk and saying a few unsavoury things. We've all done it. I wasn't judging him, but now I find myself in the awkward position of having to introduce him again. Listen, I'm sure it's embarrassing for both of us, okay? And I blame NBC for this terrible situation. Mel blames... We know who Mel blames. I want to say something nice about Mel before he comes out. Oh yeah, okay, here you go. I'd rather have a drink with him in his hotel room tonight than with Bill Cosby. Please, Malcolm. Mel Gibson.
Leah Delaria arrived on Conan's show with some fresh personal news. She'd just come out of a relationship.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
Relationships, you were engaged, but
Yes.
then you broke off that engagement recently. Is that true?
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
The moment she took a shot at Bill, her breakup stopped being a sob story and became the punchline of the entire interview.
I have this mic on, so...
Yeah, that's all right.
Be a gentleman and help me out with my point.
Hey, Kodak, can you believe that marriage didn't work out? Yeah, I can't believe your relationships don't work out.
Pharaoh's 2017 expose put a lot of powerful people under the microscope. Ricky standing in a room with some of them and staying quiet was never going to happen.
But tonight isn't just about the people in front of the camera. In this room are some of the most important TV and film executives in the world. People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Our next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein. You did it. I didn't. You did it. Shut the f*** up.
For every parent who loves the experience, there's another one determined to talk you out of ever having kids. Bill's come back to that type is one for the books.
So, but like for the most, my kids say, yeah, you're like the fun dad.
Right.
You're the fun dad.
I think that's what you said the whole time. No. I think
the least fun dad. You left out a word.
4 years of hatred toward me.
Dad.
4 years of hatred. Get ready, because you got a daughter too. Wait till she's a teenager. Wait till the hell.
Everybody who fails as a father says that to me.
I failed?
I think so, yeah.
Are you calling me a failure?
No, just this whole, I'm just not feeling like good vibes between the two of you.
We're doing a podcast together.
It feels like a business decision.
Most people associate The Office with Steve Carell. Ricky Gervais would like to remind everyone that his version came first, and this host learned that the hard way.
Of course, you play, in the UK version of The Office, play the boss. What is the weirdest excuse that you've ever heard?
You say the UK version.
Yeah.
I call it the original.
First of all, what really counts is who's scarier. Dude, there's no way I'd ever let you get those farm hands on me.
There's just farm hands.
Yeah, you guys can literally change a tire.
Look at how beautiful I look.
You could change a tire with like a crescent wrench. Just come up and just turn it like that. I gotta get like that. I gotta get that piece of pipe.
Give me a bunny to hold on.
Ricky Gervais has a new game show here on ABC called Child Support, and he really wanted to be here to promote it in person, but he's very busy not being here to promote it in person. So he made a video, he sent a video, and I don't know exactly what the nature of the video is. He wants it to be a surprise, okay? So, well, just roll it, I guess.
Yeah, hi, Jimmy. Sorry I'm not there in person, but, I can't be bothered, to be honest.
Piers Morgan has had a lot of bad takes over the years. Ricky Gervais picked one and dismantled it with obvious enjoyment.
Iowa has been giving out gun permits to blind people. Not just partially blind, but completely blind people who aren't allowed legally to drive cars. Well, their constitutional right would be damaged if, and they gave an example of, if they were fully sighted and used a gun, just because they lost their sight, why should they lose the constitutional right to continue having a gun?
Yeah, well, it's a difficult one, but the short answer is because they can't see what they're shooting.
Piers saw where things were going and tried to pivot. Ricky didn't let him get far.
I can't buy a Kinder egg, those little eggs with little toys in, because it may choke me, so they're a health hazard.
Dear America, please let Piers buy a Kinder egg. but don't let him buy a gun.
There's a certain kind of person who has no concept of personal space. In this interview, Bobby Lee was that person.
I never understood sports before the Premier League. Like when I used to watch,
let's make this as intimate as possible.
No, I'm just, may I touch you here for a second?
Am I supposed to be uncomfortable?
No, I'll just hear this. But when I'm saying that, back in the day when I grew up.
With your wispy facial hair?
But back in the day when I was growing up, right?
You look like you transitioned.
You see what I'm doing there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you try it.
No, I can't.
Come on. It's the only. This will get rid of.
Sorry.
Huh?
How is this not a breakdown? What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you gonna?
I'm trying to help you.
That's amazing.
But available for streaming.
I've never seen you so animated.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Thank you. On Netflix.
I thought you were giving up.
Okay.
What is, because obviously the Chris Rock, Will Smith is huge in the comedy world.
We've already seen how Ricky handled the Will Smith conversation. Bill Burr's version covers the same ground and somehow leaves even less room for sympathy.
Well, I mean, Will Smith went to India with some publicists to take pictures in front of the Taj Mahal, so he's all healed.
He's back. He's good.
I love that you have to go all the way to India to not know that you don't get up in the middle of an awards show and slap somebody. It wasn't until I went to the Taj Mahal where I finally understood.
Justin Bieber nearly had to take a paternity test. What a waste of a test that would have been. No, he's not the father. The only way that he could have impregnated a girl was if he'd borrowed one of Martha Stewart's old turkey basters. Open wide.
There's an unwritten rule that every celebrity at a combat sports event has to do this one cringy thing. And at this point, it's become impossible to ignore.
But the kids were like...
You know what I think is funny is when they show, when actors are like ringside at a fight.
Oh, yeah.
They always got to be like... They got like...
It's so fucking, I know.
It's like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? You're not up there.
Yeah. If you're at a football game, they put it on you, do you go...
Yeah. After 4 times at the podium, Ricky had clearly run out of patience for the performance of it all. The 5th was less of a hosting gig and more of a public reminder of where celebrities actually stand in society.
If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and f*** off, okay?
Most people wouldn't dare test Mike Tyson's sense of humor. Bill Burr is one of the few who can walk away from it unharmed.
Bill Burr, comedian, baby. Made headlines in October 2000 and 2000 after controversial monologue. You know, man.
2000 and 2000, Mike, that's 2020.
Listen,
those
man.
Brownsville schools, man.
Phil, tell me, man, but listen, right?
2000 and 2000.
Man,
great.
2020.
It's 2020. Be 20 and 20, if anything.
So he had some backlash after the SNL monologue because he was speaking his
Billy
truth.
boy, oh Billy.
Oh, Mikey.
I did mushrooms, dude.
You did. You're a beautiful person.
Don't attack them. There's a very simple solution to all this problem in the Middle East. Stop attacking.
Hey, you
Stop
just solved
attacking.
it. Just
I did.
solved it.
I actually
There
did.
you go. That's fantastic.
Anyway.
All right.
We don't need to get onto that.
Let's go to Russia and the Ukraine. How do you solve that one, Bill? Let me hear your hard-nosed decision about that.
Forgetting your roots when fame hits is a well-worn move. Kevin Hart made it, and Bill Burr wasn't the type to let that go without a response.
Today's guest is a true friend, a real brother.
Yeah,
Ladies and
you've
gentlemen,
called me since 2003.
you shut up, Bill. People don't know that. This is Bill Burr, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I'm Bill Burr. Now, Kevin Hart was somebody that I thought I was friends with, but I realized quickly that he just needed a spot at Dangerfields. And then he booked a pilot, and I don't think I talked to him again. I had like kids, and I didn't hear from you.
Bill is a very happy person. Bill is a married man. He's a father now. Congrats on that, Bill, by the way.
I got 2 kids. I had another one. I was going to call you, but I knew you wouldn't return the call.
No.
I don't think my last movie did well enough to have you send over your little heart of the city fruit basket, you piece of shit.
Talking about? I would have sent you a bottle of Hart wine from the vineyard. What are you talking about, man? I told you it would have got there.
You're talking to America's honesty broker. I got a lot of sources, okay? So.
Oh, yeah. I always love when somebody tells me how honest they are. You going to sell me a car now, Colin?
Hope you enjoyed this one.
I mean, they've been trying to cancel me for about 15 years, and they've always failed. And often the people trying to cancel me have been other comedians writing for the posh papers, doing that thing they always say, he's punching down. Well, comedy should punch up. We only punch up. We punch up. Their idea of punching up, they have a go at Boris Johnson. How the fuck is that punching up? You know, the cunt is learning disabled. He's like this fucking waterlogged Gary Busey, fucking albino Eggman thing. He can't string a sentence together. Have you heard him talk? He's like, he's a fucking moron. I punch up. I have a go at people like, I don't know, Stephen Hawking, right? Yes, the greatest brain that's ever lived. He can take it, and he wouldn't even have minded when he was alive because he's part robot, isn't he? I think he's basically a talking chair, so you can say what you want. And he was on Epstein's island apparently, so fuck him. I don't. What was he doing there? Why do I want to go? Why? Why do I? You're like just there doing fuck. I would go. What? I know pedos who'd kill for a ticket to that, and he's just taking up a space. It's probably DEI or something, and they go, we need one. Like, I'll go, what are you doing here, Steve? He go, I'm thinking weird shit. Fuck off. That is probably a hate crime. That is. It's a bit like Eddie Redmayne got in trouble when he played Stephen Hawking in the biopic, The Life Story of Stephen Hawking, right? Won an Oscar for it, and that's when the backlash started. People going, no, it should be played by a real disabled creature, all this, right? And They're going, the actor should have the same disability as the person they're portraying. But it was the life story of Stephen Hawking, right? So for the first part of the film, the cunt could walk, right? So I put it to you, what is easier? Getting an actor who can walk, pretend he can't for the last bit of the film, or get an actor who can't walk, pretend he can for the first bit? How would that even fucking work? Puppetry, think. You can't always find an actor with the same disability as the person they're portraying. They're fucking actors. What if they did a biopic of Helen Keller, the deaf, dumb and blind girl? Well, what's the chances of finding a deaf, dumb and blind actress who can play that role? And if you did, you go right into the director and go, we found a deaf, dumb and blind girl. What did she say? She didn't even answer the fucking phone. Oh, don't get me started. Oh. I did see one thing recently on YouTube, actually. Do you know the little fella from Game of Thrones? The actor, Peter Dinklage. Do you know Peter Dinklage? Yeah. He was at a junket, and it was for a new thing he was doing, right? And they were filming it. That's why it got leaked onto YouTube. And I don't know what brought it up, but he suddenly started going off on one. So I'm like, oh, God. He was going, it's fucking disgusting. They're still doing productions of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. For Christ's sake, it's fucking demeaning. It's 2023. He wasn't happy. He was grumpy, wasn't he? He's got a point now, hasn't he? Obviously, he's got a point. But the thing is, it's all right for him because he's a multi-millionaire Hollywood actor, and he's a great actor as well. He does Shakespeare and everything. A lot of dwarves in entertainment aren't that great. No, some of them are fucking... They're props, right? No, let's be honest. They're lucky to be fired from a fucking cannon, right? And so, dancing around Snow White for 3 weeks of the year, that is their, like, holy grail, and he's going to fuck it for them. If he takes that, what can they do? And he's not saying you should do Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs with normal... I've just, I said earlier, I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes, and that is absolutely true, but I've just remembered a joke that I stopped myself, because I bottled it a bit, and I think I was being overcautious. I want to share it with you, right? So, I got the chance to introduce Jason Momoa. Do you know who Jason Momoa is? Yeah, right? So I thought the meta joke would be to show my hypocrisy and my cowardice. Like, I'm okay to slag off actors. Who's scared of actors? But when it comes to a big dude, right, I'm not so brave. So I was going to go, I've got nothing bad to say about our next presenter because he's got a cock like a baby's arm, right? And I told my mate I was going to do that, and my mate went, do you think people think that's racist? I went, why is it racist? He went, well, because he's a person of colour. And I went, no, but it's nothing to do with that. It's to do with the fact that he's so big that he'd probably have a cock like a baby's arm, right? So I didn't do it. And I had a great follow-up as well. I'll tell you the whole thing. This is the whole thing. This is what I was going to do, right? Right. So I go out and go, I've got nothing bad to say about our next presenter because he's got a cock like a baby's arm. Unlike Peter Dinklage, who's got an arm like a baby's cock. It's great to hear. Oh, I miss the local pedo. Don't you? There was always one, wasn't there? Outside the school, you'd be with your mum and she'd go, look, there's a paedophile. Because he had the uniform of the pedo. You know what I mean? You could spot old bloke, bald on top, long down the sides, like that. And I'll go, that's a dirty pedo. Say hello, 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 like that. Dirty, look, that's what a fucking pedo looks like. Dirty fucking paedophile, right? That's what they look. If he touches you, we'll burn his house down. It was a good system. You know what I mean? But then Michael Jackson comes along and he breaks the mould, doesn't he? Because he's not an ugly bloke outside the school. I'm not saying Michael Jackson definitely was a paedophile. No one knows. Only Michael and all those people he paid off. All I'm saying is that kids loved Michael. Kids loved Michael just to look at him. Like a little Disney cartoon, wasn't he? And then his voice, hello. You know, that... Oh, Michael Jackson go up to any kid he wanted. Probably much like that, didn't he? Probably like that. That's another thing. Kids would go, there's Michael Jackson, he's going away from us. He wasn't, he was going towards them. But people don't care, because he's so good. Right, he's so good. He's so popular as well. I think if he'd have lived to stand trial, he'd have beaten the rap, because everyone loves him. And he'd be so vulnerable in court as well, wouldn't he? He'd be there like that, and the judge would go, Michael, did you fiddle all those kids? And he'd go, hee hee. Judge would go, cased it, get out of here, you scam, go on. Of the Golden Globes, right? And, thank you. I last hosted the Golden Globes in 2020. It was the 5th time over a 10-year period, and I liked them more and more, and the last one was my favourite, because the world changed in that 10 years. You know, like the first time I hosted them in like 2010, the press of America, they hated me. Right? Who is this annoying Brit insulting the most important people on the planet? By the last time I hosted, they were like, yeah, go on, fuck them. Fuck them, right? Because ordinary people had got sick and tired of being lectured by these multi-millionaire, nothing wrong with that, these liberal elite entertainers telling them how to vote and how to recycle, when everyone knew they were getting free jet rides to Pedo Island. So it really hit the zeitgeist. But it was always the same deal. Whenever they said, do you want to host? I said, yeah, I'll host. I said, but I'm going to write all my own jokes, which is unheard of, apparently. I said, I'm going to write all my own jokes, and I'm not going to rehearse, so you can't hear the jokes beforehand, you can't cancel any. And they let me do that. I did have to show a lawyer the jokes about an hour before to make sure I hadn't broken any laws, and I never had, because I know the law. Sometimes the lawyer would go, are you sure you want to say that? Right? And I go, is it legal? They go, yep, technically. I go, let's do it. Right? I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes. That says something about them, to be fair, right? So I always go, oh God, no. I wouldn't even say if that had happened, because I don't like gossip, to be honest, right? There was one guy I thought took it the wrong way, right? It wasn't a bad... No, the cameras went to him, and I'm not in control of the cameras, so I think he was caught in the headlights. It was Elton John, right? But it wasn't a bad joke. I was introducing Madonna, okay? And I later found out that him and Madonna were in this feud, and he hated being mentioned in the same sentence as it. But I didn't know at the time. I was confused, right? And it wasn't part of the monologue, but I'm there for like 3 hours, right? And now and again, the stage manager put a head around the door and go, do you want to introduce so-and-so? And I go, yeah, fine. And I come out and I either do it straight or I ad-lib. And this was little ad-lib because I saw Elton in the front row, right? So this was the joke. I came out and I said, our next presenter is the Queen of Pop. Not you, Elton. Sit down, right? And it sort of went to him, he sort of went, and I was like, oh, fuck, he hated that. And I was thinking, why is he, I was like, oh, God, do you think I'm homophobic? Oh, I'm not homophobic. There's always in my head. Then I thought, he must have heard worse, right? In the 1980s, right, when Elton John was in the closet, he wasn't out, he was married to a woman, right? He was also chairman of Watford Football Club. And he and his then wife would go along and watch Watford play, and the entire crowd would sing, don't bend down when Elton's around or you might get a willy up your arse. Which puts my little quip into perspective. I don't know how football fans know how to start at the right time in the same key. Do they hand out sheet music before we're doing Willy up the arse in C? Jeff's doing a solo. It's like, and what they usually do, they get a traditional tune so everyone knows it, and they change the lyrics. Some genius changes the lyrics, right, to be as offensive about someone or something or somewhere or whatever, right? So the tune they used to use, I remember it, it was that old Cockney knees-up song. My old man said, follow the van and don't dilly-dally on the way. Do you know that one? Remember the term dilly-dally? They use it very creatively in their version, right? So this was their lyric. It was the 80s. It's not politically correct. I apologise. But they're football hooligans. What are you going to do, right? So let's analyse their genius lyrics, right? This is what they used to sing. Don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. I mean, you might. Not necessarily his, but, you know, like mathematicians amongst you would have to go, yeah, there's a slight... Like, if 1,000 people bent down when Elton was around, one of them might randomly... Someone might come off a bicycle and go, sorry, like that, and they go, oh, fuck, and the scientists will go, 1. Do you know what I mean? There's a slight... Also... When Elton's around, that's ambiguous. That could fit, like, you could have 2 gentlemen having anal sex in a hotel room, right? And then the next day they find out that Elton John was staying in the next room. They go, oh, I got a willy up the arse when Elton was around, you know? I'll give them that. Anyway. Don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. He has the nerve. And he goes, he dallies and dillies. They've reversed it. Why? He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. Again, I don't know what play with means in this context. It could be like, wow. It could be anything, couldn't it? Wow. I thought you were going to suck it. No. He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. He's up every arse in town. I'd stop him there. I'd go, no, you know, that is provably false. He's not up every arse in town, is he? We can prove that. Right, take a small town. Take Watford. 120,000 people. He is not up 120,000 arses, is it? I mean, half of them are women, so 60,000 tops, right? And I don't think he's been up 60,000. And if he has, good luck to him, but that's not my point. This is my point, right? What did his then wife think of that? Because he's in the closet, right? You know, and she's just married Elton John the Pop. She couldn't be, she's in love. She's so proud of him. Elton John, and he's chairman of Watford. She goes like, I'm married Elton John the Pop star. I'm married to Elton John the Pop star. And then the entire crowd sing, don't bend down when Elton's around or you might get a willy up your arse. She must have gone, why are they singing that, Elton? And he goes round to see that, but I am going to spend my entire fortune from now on private jets to make sure it definitely fucking happens. We're going to be the first generation that future generations are jealous of, right? Because we had it all, and we're using it all up. We're using up all the fresh water. We're using up all the fossil fuel, right? Usually you look back in history and you feel sorry for it. You go, oh, how did they live like that? Oh, how did they get around? No indoor toilets. I've got 9 toilets in my house. And sometimes I just run around flushing them for a laugh, like that. Just so that in 40 years' time, Greta Thunberg has to shit out of a window. I've got 28 radiators. I always have them on full. Then I put the aircon on full, and it sort of settles at about... I should do political stuff now I'm woke, but I don't like it when a comedian just spouts his own political views and it relies on the audience agreeing with him to get a round of applause. I think that loses something comedically. I want everyone to like my jokes, whatever your political persuasion. A joke shouldn't have a political wing, you know. I'm political in my private life, like everyone, you know. Like, I'm sometimes incensed by the inequalities in our society. We're in the 7th richest economy in the world, right? And there's homelessness. There's 250,000 homeless people in Britain. Now, I wish there were no homeless people, because they're fucking horrible. You know, oh yeah, right next to the fucking cash point, you cheeky cunt. It is a serious problem, and I hope none of you ever find yourself homeless. But if you do, my advice is DNA. It's like a blueprint for life. It determines what you're like, what sex you are. How many sexes are there? 2. Also, that's where he keeps his testosterone, so he's fucking well hard, right? And if you take a finger and flick a testicle, he's fucked. He's absolutely fucked. He's throwing up, he's on the floor, he's out of the game, absolutely kippered. Why are you putting it on the outside? For a laugh, just for a laugh. Artificial intelligence, the latest existential threat to humanity, the rise of the robots, so intelligent, they can teach themselves, they can teach each other, they can build each other, you know? Soon they know everything there is to know, and they hate us. Why wouldn't they, right? And they'll be so realistic, they'll walk amongst us, they'll go to work, right? You know when they're getting really human? When they start calling in sick. Mondays, I mean, they've learned all the tricks. They go, oh, I'm not coming in today. Why not? Oh, fed up. What's the matter with you? They sort of scan social media. ADHD. Self-diagnosed. They'll be in HR all the time, won't they? Be like, Ryan in accounts is robophobic. What would he say? Call me a whiny plastic cunt. I think we should be allowed to insult robots when it's happened, you know, because we've made them to make our life easier, and that would get things off our chest, because it's bad enough, isn't it, with real people, you're getting in trouble, saying the wrong thing, people taking things the wrong way now, like, oh my God, oh, I made fat Linda cry today, oh, what happened? I just shouted out to her. Then I remembered we only call her that behind her back. I'm sure people didn't used to get offended all the time when I was little. I might be remembering it wrong, but not grown-ups, not your parents, not your grandparents. They grew up dodging bombs and their firstborn having polio and the menfolk dying at 50 of lung disease. They could take a fucking joke, right? It was all about the wind-up. I used to wind up my mum all the time. This is a true story. When I went off to university, after about a week, I phoned home. My mum answered. She went, "Oh?" I went, "It's Ricky." She went, "You all right?" I went, "Not really. I'm in hospital. I think I'm blind." She went, "What?" I went, "No, I'm only joking." Right? She went, "You silly bugger." She went, "I could have had a heart attack." Right? And she's right. She could have had a heart attack. And I knew that. That's how committed I am to having a laugh. You're welcome. You're welcome. Space travel, the last-ditch attempt. When we fuck this planet completely, can we leave its dying husk and move to a new one and start again? I don't think so. Not in my lifetime. Probably not in yours. You know, it's like the closest one, the only one viable, is Mars, and that's 9 months away on a rocket. Right? It's got no atmosphere, an average temperature of -70 degrees. How's this for irony? Scientists are working out whether they can detonate nuclear warheads in the crust to release the frozen water to cause an atmosphere and get a little bit of global warming going. I mean, I don't know. It's only billionaires have got enough money to waste on exploration. There's nothing out there, you know. It's like, now you can do space tourism. Have you heard of that? You can pay $150,000. They shoot you into space for an hour, and you float around going, "I'm in space." I mean, we're already in space. Earth is right in the fucking middle of space, right? It's the best bit of space there is. It's got car parks and cinemas. It's like there's nothing else to see. It's like living in London and going, "I wonder what Coventry's like." You don't... But I'm optimistic. I am. I think people care about the planet deep down. I think it's just that most people on the planet don't realise that most people on the planet are destroying the planet. Most people don't realise that in my lifetime, we've wiped out 70% of all animal populations. And what's left en masse on the earth of animals is 36% human, 60% farm animals just to feed humans, and 4% wild now. People don't realise that we have to tear down entire rainforests, the lungs of the earth, just to grow grain, to feed these cows, to feed us. We steal grain from third world countries because they want hard currency. They can't even feed their own people. We take their grain, feed our cattle. Meat eaters. If you eat meat every day, if you gave up 1 day a week, we'd feed another 100 million people. But I think people care. It's out of sight, out of mind. Think of the animal that most people know, their dog. They love their dog. They wouldn't let anyone hurt their dog. And a dog is a cow, is a sheep, is a deer. People love their dog so much, they won't even watch a fictional thing where a dog gets hurt. And I get that. There's a website, it's a real website. It's called doesthedogdie.com, right? And it was set up because people would watch a film or a program with a dog in it, and something would happen to the dog, and they'd turn it off. It would ruin it for them. It would ruin their day, right? So this website was set up. You could go to it, you could put in any film or TV show and ask, "Does a dog die?" And someone would answer you, "No," or whatever. And it's become a thing for anyone's phobias. Anything you don't want to see in a film, you just look up the film and they answer your question, right? So I looked up one film on here, Schindler's List. Absolutely real. Schindler's List, doesthedogdie.com, right? First question, does a dog die? No. Does a cat die? No. Are any animals abused? Someone answers, there is a chicken that's handled roughly, but otherwise unharmed. Now, I love animals more than anyone I know, but if I was Jewish, I'd be slightly offended by this avenue of questioning. Imagine that in real life. Imagine someone says, "Oh, yeah, my grandparents were murdered by the Nazis." You go, "Oh, what happened?" "Oh, they were dragged from their house and sent to the gas chamber." "Oh, was a chicken hurt?" What? But as I say, it's become, you can ask any question about anything. Someone says, is there child abuse? Is teeth damaged? Is there a hanging? Does someone struggle to breathe? Yeah. Well, yeah, yes. Someone says, does someone fall downstairs? Who's scared of slapstick? It's like... Anyway, so this website was founded in 2010, so it's run about 13 years, right? And the later questions start reflecting the times we live in now, and they get more and more fragile and narcissistic. These questions were asked this year. Check it out, Schindler's List, right? Someone says, are there any fat jokes? Would that make this worse? Well, imagine the real thing. Imagine I'm in a concentration camp, right? I'm naked, everyone around me is naked. We've got a commandant herding us towards a gas chamber, and he goes, move it, fatty, right? And I go, rude. No, that has ruined the whole experience, if I'm honest. Someone asks, is there hate speech? Yeah, there is. Suck it up, Buttercup. Are there any man in a dress jokes? Very few jokes. If you've come to this film for a giggle, you're going to be very disappointed. But this one takes the biscuit for me. Remember, this is a movie set in the 1940s about arguably the worst atrocity in civilized human history. Check this out. Is someone misgendered? Fucking hell. This is quite sweet. Is there any anti-Semitism? Yeah. This is pretty much the mother load, right? Forget Kanye. This is off the fucking charts. Don't do that when you're talking about this. Fuck's sake. I was doing the graph. I was doing like that. This is off the charts. That's... Wouldn't things have been different if that was Hitler's salute? The whole thing would have been... He goes like, it's Hitler. Like, hiya. This is interesting. Does it have a sad ending? Right? Someone says yes, and then someone else says no. And I thought about it. No, but then I remembered, if you've seen the film, if you remember, when the story sort of ends, Spielberg then tacks on a real bit of footage where he gets real-life descendants of people murdered in the Holocaust, and he films them coming into a Jewish cemetery, and they each leave a stone on the grave to represent their family members that were murdered, and it builds up, and it's very moving. And so I think I get the ambiguity. Does it have a sad ending? Yes, in the sense that 6 million Jews pointlessly lost their life, but no, in the sense that there was still enough left over to build a little rockery. So... I asked one question myself on this. Is James Corden in it? I did look at one other film briefly, Titanic, right? And it's got all the same sort of questions. And the one where it goes, are any animals harmed? Someone answers, there were no explicit scenes of animals being harmed, but Rose did have a goldfish, which probably didn't make it. I think the goldfish in the bowl on the sideboard when the boat hits the iceberg, and he's all like that, right? And people are running around going, we're going in the water. And he's all smug then, and he's going, don't worry about it. Oh, no, not water. Then he gets in the sea and he goes, it's very salty, isn't it? It's very salty. I'll leave you with a true story. It's still on the theme of does the dog die? When I was 7 years old, my mum took me to the cinema to see a film called Old Yeller. Beautiful film, yeah, made in the late 50s and sort of set in the Wild West on this homestead. And it's about a kid who adopts this little junkyard dog, and he calls him Old Yeller, and they grow up together. And it's a buddy movie. It's a love story between this kid and his dog. And eventually, when the dog's big and, you know, he protects this kid in the wild, he fights a cougar and a bear and a wolf or whatever. But towards the end of the film, the kid's about 13, maybe. It takes a dark turn. I remember the kid sort of looking at Old Yeller, who's locked in the barn, and the mother's suspicious, right? And she goes, is it Old Yeller all right? He went, yeah, he's fine. But the kid knows that he's been bitten, right? And soon, Old Yeller starts foaming at the mouth and getting aggressive. And the mother turns up with a gun, and the kid goes, no. And she goes, you know we've got to do it, boy. He goes, yeah, but he's my dog. I'll do it. And he shoots his own dog. And I was like in floods for like a year, right? Anyway, fast forward, right, a few years ago, I was on tour, I was on a train, and I get a text from Jane, and she says, oh, I'm finally watching Old Yeller. And I sent back, oh, enjoy, right? I didn't think, right? 20 minutes later, I get a text. Nothing happens to that dog, does it? Oh, I couldn't believe my fucking luck. I thought she knew, or... So I sent back, no, of course not. 1 hour later, I get a text, you cunt. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks to everyone who bought a ticket. If you bought a platinum ticket, the money goes to an animal charity, and you've raised $2 million so far, so thank you so much. I even get a bit of stick about that on social media. There's always someone who goes, oh, why do you only speak up for animals? And I go, well, because they haven't got a voice of their own except parrots. And I think that's why we don't eat parrots. Everyone around the world eats every other type of bird, don't they? Everyone in the world eats fucking chickens and ducks and geese and turkeys and ostriches. No one eats parrots. Do you know why? If you go and try and eat a parrot, it goes, fuck off, you cunt. So speaking up really does work, right? And that has sort of been one of the themes of the show, because I know in the real world, in normal jobs, everyday life, you get in trouble. People tell you off for saying certain things or thinking certain things or even laughing at certain things, right? They say you're bad for laughing at that. And some of you take it to heart. You go, oh my God, am I a bad person? No, you're not. One, you can't choose your sense of humor. You can't, it's involuntary. And two, that's exactly what humor is for, to laugh at bad shit, to get us through it, right? And... And we've established you can't even choose your own thoughts. How often have you been on a train station and you suddenly thought, what if I just pushed that bloke? And then you go, why have I thought that? Am I a psychopath? No, you're not. You're the opposite. You're a safe pair of hands. You're testing yourself. You're reminding yourself how terrible that would be. You're a good person, right? I don't get that one. What I get is I'm talking to a really sweet old lady and I suddenly start thinking, what if I just spat in her face now? Why would I... Another theme of...
You're allowed to object to that chair, Mr. Gervais.
Well, it's not brilliant, is it? But it's...
Well,
at least it's not one of those awful director's chairs. Or I've put ones that you slide off. That's all right.
Well, I thought we could extemporize a little fun here because I was caught out by one of the young lady custodians sitting on this chair. Oops. There's a chair out there which is not to be sat on.
No, I'm with them. We don't want Australians coming here and ruining our whole place.
Destroying their heritage.
Cool. That was a big clapper.
It is. Big clapper for a small show. It's inverse proportion to the importance of the show.
Yeah, it's a tiny little thing, but made a loud noise. Like me.
Yeah, exactly. Can we begin at the beginning? Childhood. You were born in Reading?
Yeah, I was born in sort of council house, welfare housing, a place called Whitley Estate, sort of a 50s new build. Son of a immigrant labourer. My dad was Canadian who joined the army in the Second World War, came over, met my mum, had their first kid, Larry, my brother, 44, sister 47, and my brother Bob, the next one to me, 1950, and I came 11 years later in 61. I asked my mum once when I was about 13, I said, why are my brothers and sisters so much older than me? She went, because you were a mistake. I just laughed.
But what a mistake.
Yeah, what a mistake. They're all mistakes.
Gervais,
yeah.
I take it, is a French-Canadian name.
Yeah, originally, yeah. My dad was...
Quebecois.
Well, he's Ontario, but I assume that they all came over. It's like 400 years ago, I think, yeah.
I have a son-in-law who is French-Canadian, and I like having my genes mingled with his because they're some of the toughest people in the world.
It was
the traverseurs were the people in the 1600s who went off into the wilderness, vanished for years and came back with a load of beaver.
Yeah.
The skins, I mean. Oh, no, sorry, you're meant to do the jokes. Right, well, I can go now. I've made you laugh. End of the interview, right, that's it.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's, then I went to school, as usual.
Clever kid, obviously.
Well, I guess so, yeah. I think it was a bit of an experiment because being the youngest, which is, you know, good and bad. I had to fight to be heard, which is probably why I'm a show-off and an entertainer. But I remember my sister taught me to read when I was 3, and the teacher would get in other parents and say, look, this kid can read. Like I was a poster boy. Come to this school, this kid can read.
So you got beaten up a lot?
No, I didn't, because I think that's, again, you know, I made people laugh. You make friends and you make the... I can't remember being a bully, but if there had been, I bet I made him laugh as opposed to stood up to him. So, yeah, I was always attracted to funny people. My friends were funny, my family were funny. I just thought life was for having a laugh. That's what I thought it was.
What a strange misapprehension to grow up with. Life is meant to be funny.
No, I'm militant. I stand by it. Life is to have a laugh and then you die. That's it, really.
Must tell that to people in Afghanistan.
Well, of course. I mean, when you're... I think that's why my comedy is about excruciating social faux pas and things like that, because when you're in a safe environment, when you're not dying of dysentery or being shot at, the worst thing that happens to you is a bit of bad service or you embarrass yourself. So that's why I go after that, you know. I understand the privilege.
Oh, I know.
You know.
I'm not pontificating about it. I think that first world problems are very funny.
But it is true.
It's what's so funny about
exactly.
that.
But no, it is true. You know, particularly today, I'm pointed at as a white male, privileged, middle-aged, heterosexual man. Do you know what I mean? But
our time has gone.
Yeah,
our time has passed.
When you're in a council estate, you don't think of that. You don't think, oh, I'm lucky. When you know what I mean? When you go to eating beans on toast and there's no money, you're not thinking, phew, I'm glad I'm here. But you don't understand how privileged you are.
Where did the presumption come that you could actually make a living, a terrific living, by being funny?
Well, I didn't. I sort of fell into it. I was always doing it. I was always having a laugh. Everyone does it. You know, the funniest person you know isn't a professional comedian. It's your mate or your dad or your uncle, you know, because you know each other so well. So I always did that. I was always trying to be funny. And as I say, I was surrounded by funny people. And you know, and you get a job, and you make people laugh at work and at weekends. I never really thought of it as a profession. In fact, I thought I had to, you know, use my education vocationally. I went to university to study biology. I did sciences because I suppose I was, you know, a clever kid, and I loved science from an early age. I've always been fascinated with science and nature. I've never lost that.
And you studied philosophy too later?
Wow. When I got into do biology, I got to university and I thought, 40 hours a week, 9 o'clock lectures. I didn't come to university to learn. I came to be a rock star.
Yeah.
And so after 2 weeks, I remember sitting around smoking and drinking in the dorms, and I said to someone, say a letter of the alphabet, and they went P. I went philosophy. And I got up and I went to the philosophy department and I said, I want to do philosophy. I checked, it was 7 hours a week, no 9 o'clock lectures. And they said, well, you've missed a couple of weeks. I went, I'm really clever. And they did an interview on the spot. They asked me something like, what is art? And I waffled on. And he went, okay, you can start. I did philosophy. I think I was a quota filling. I think I thought, is a working class bloke here, and everyone else spoke like, you know, royalty. So I think I got in because we thought we need we need to tick a box here. Here's a right oink.
Philosophy and science, of course, are an ideal recipe for atheism, aren't they?
Well, you know what? The science background helped me with philosophy because the things I did, I sailed through things like, you know, formal logic and stuff like that. But I don't know. I've been an atheist since I was about 8 or 9.
What was the moment that made you into an atheist?
I remember it. I used to. I loved Jesus. I love the idea of it. You know, I love the idea of Jesus because he was like a superhero. The God bit wasn't so special to me, but I love Jesus because he was kind, and you know, I read the stories in the New Testament about what. I thought it was brilliant bloke. That's the way to be. Be like Jesus. You know, and I guess I sort of believed everything that came with it, but you don't think about it at 8. It's just passed down, you know. And I remember I was doing the Bible studies and stuff, and my brother Bob came in, who was 11 years older than me, so he was about 19, and he just went, why do you believe in God? And my mum went, Bob, and I knew she was trying to shut him up, and and that was all that happened. And I thought about it. I thought, oh no, of course there isn't. Of course there isn't. And I was always into science and nature. And I thought, yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense.
I still tried to believe in Santa Claus after I knew there wasn't a God, though.
Well, I think...
Because there was some gifts there.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'd shut up about that. Yeah, you don't say to your mum, there's no Santa Claus. But I think that came pretty soon after. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Adults lie. And you know, I understand why. You know, at the time it seems like a good lie. You know, to a working class mum, Jesus is an unpaid babysitter. You know, if I'm not watching you, someone is. You know, they do it for good reason. I think, and I've never had a problem with spirituality. I still don't. You know, I really don't have a problem with that. Religion's got its problems. You know, organised religion. There's a few things to look into there. But
there was a general belief that eventually religion would attenuate as a belief system, but it hasn't, has it? Well, more people are believing things now than ever before, and they'll kill you for it too.
Well, that's the other problem, isn't it? You know, religion's greatest trick wasn't making people believe there was a God. It was telling you shouldn't ever ridicule the idea, that it was sacred to question this dogma, and of course it's not. And as both a scientist, a bit of a philosopher, and a professional comedian, that is so important to me, that nothing's sacred.
It's very easy to have a shot at Christianity because it's quite a tolerant religion now.
Yeah.
It wasn't always. It's another thing to have a go at Islam, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
But I'm not asking you to because I don't want us to get right.
Well, I don't really have a go. I don't have a go at anything. You know, and the reason why, I suppose, I've only read one holy book. I've only ever read the Bible, so I sort of know about that. And I did deconstruct that in one of my shows.
How did that go?
Great. You know,
Can you give me the potted version?
I didn't even do much to it. I just literally read Genesis, which is a funny idea, you know. But I suppose I was brought up Christian. You know, I'm culturally Christian.
We all are.
Yeah. But you know, you should be able to say anything about any idea. I think people get offended when you have a go at like other people's religions because they equate it with some sort of bigotry or racism. Whereas if you have ideas don't have human rights, and I think people, they jump in the way of the bullet and go, why having a go at me? And I go, no, I'm not. I'm having a go at the idea. I'm having a go at this idea, whatever this religion is. I'm not having a go at you. Why are you taking it personally? If someone has a go at maths, I go, oh, how dare you have a go at maths? You know, it's up to you. So
we live in a great age of offence, don't we? People take offence by proxy on behalf of other people who are not even offended. I know this only too well in my job.
Well, they do. I think there are people who are professionally offended who go around looking for it. You know, they really do seek it out. It's like they uncover things to be offended. They go back and find 10-year-old tweets. They leak warm-up shows from comedians and then get offended by it, which they would never have heard of. And it's not just people. It's fed by some of the gutter press and bloggers and people like this. This clickbait headline that I see so often. So and so said a thing, and people are furious. No, 0.01%
social media outrage.
Yeah,
and there
furious.
could be one comment dropped into that horrible, ill-spelt echo chamber of social media, and they'll comment on that and on that and on that, and the cacophony is horrendous, and you're in trouble.
But yeah, so
well, you don't care.
No, but they do a headline like people are furious, and you look at it, and it's 3 tweets that they found, and to stir up. And not only are we not furious, most of us, we don't care. We wouldn't have even known about it if you hadn't have found it and printed it and told us we're furious. So it's just this vicious cycle. But no, I don't care. And likewise, I know people are allowed to be offended by things I've said. That's up to them. That's the good thing about freedom of speech. I can say what I want. You can say you're offended. I can care or not. It's not a problem, but I'm not gonna stop saying things in case someone somewhere is offended, because they will be. There's nothing you can say that someone somewhere won't find offensive.
In Australia, we're actually thinking about legislating not to offend people on religious grounds.
Well, that's ridiculous. Blasphemy is a ridiculous law anyway. It's ludicrous. It's a law that stops an all-powerful deity from having its feelings hurt. It's ludicrous. You should be able to criticise any ideas. So yeah, that shouldn't work. It shouldn't even be around, let alone being punished for it. And it's true. That's true of anything. I think not just blasphemy.
Tell me I thought very funny, wonderful trouble you got into with your joke about peanuts in an aeroplane.
Yeah,
give me the context.
So I did a joke on I think it was one of the American chat shows, Jimmy Fallon, where I was talking about being spoiled. I get on a plane, and they say we're not handing out peanuts. Someone is so allergic it could be fatal, and I say
you're up the front of the plane.
Yeah. And I thought I've never wanted peanuts more, and I made a joke. So to make sure that doesn't happen again, now before I get on a flight, I rub myself down in peanuts. So joking about
sure.
And it went out, and I got tweets from someone saying that you should never joke about food allergies, and I sent back. I joke about AIDS, cancer, the Holocaust, famine, and you're telling me I should never joke about food allergies. And that really puts it in context, because everyone thinks their thing is worse than everyone else's. I've had it before. People go to my show, they say, I loved all the show, I didn't like the bit about this thing, my thing. So they know I'm joking about all the other horrendous things in the world, but they can't see the wood for the trees, because they go, well, no, that's not funny, because that's my thing. It happens. It happens. We all find some things offensive and other things not. But there's nothing that should be done about it, because who's to say what's offensive? Because it's so subjective. People are offended by different things. Just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. Some people are offended by equality. Some people are offended by gay marriage. So what? Live with it. If you're not physically harming anyone or taking away their human rights, you're allowed to be offended by a joke, but it doesn't mean anyone has to do anything about it.
Nothing should be beyond a joke.
Well, there's no subject you shouldn't joke about, but it depends on the target. People get offended when they mistake the subject of a joke with the actual target, and they're not necessarily the same. You can do a joke about race without being racist, but people hear the subject come up and they go, oh, no, that's not allowed, that's taboo. And I deal in taboo subjects for that reason, because I want to take the audience to a place it hasn't been before. When I start a routine, I can feel the tension, and then I come down on the right side, and everyone gasps and laughs. You know, I've taken them through a scary forest, and that's what humour's for. It's to make us laugh at bad things. That's what it's for. It's to get us over bad shit.
And the relief that the court jester traditionally put when he would say to the most tyrannous king, he could say something true, everyone else would gasp, and the king laughs.
That's another good point about being a professional comedian these days, because traditionally you do have to be low status. You go out there and you laugh at the king, and everyone laughs with you, and you're in it together. But I think people know what people like me earn these days, so it's hard to be low status. So I do it in two ways. I invite them into my world. What you think it's great being, flying a private jet. Well, the first time I flew a private jet, the guy thought I was the cook. So I you know what I mean? I let them in and say, I'm not the man for this job. Yeah. You know. The other way I do it is I talk about things that they're better off than me. That I'm getting old and I'm losing my hair and I'm getting fat and I'm going to die soon. So I get my low status like that. Like I'm absolutely screwed. But let's all have a laugh about it. But it is important. You can't go out there and be above the audience. You can't just lecture the audience. You can't tell the audience what a great life you've had, what a great day. The audience want to hear that you've had a shit day too.
I like you so much more because you're filthy rich, but you made it yourself. You didn't inherit it, and you made it between your ears by being one of the funniest men in English.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I mean, that is important.
And can I borrow 10 quid?
Yes, yeah. No, but that is important to me. And you know, I didn't have any money till I was 40. And I didn't much care either.
And we'd never heard of you in Australia until you were 40 with The Office.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's crazy how global you can be these days without really trying, more so than ever, you know. I think it was quite rare that something like a little sitcom like that went around the world, but now with, you know, Netflix and
it's extraordinary.
And social media, everything's pretty international.
Yet you've never been down to see us.
I haven't, no, but it's on my bucket list. It's such a long way. I'm so lazy.
You love jet lag.
Yeah, I'm waiting for. Isn't Richard Branson sorting something out where he shoots you into space and you come down?
And you use the speed at which the Earth is revolving.
Yeah,
1,000 kilometres an hour saves.
Isn't science brilliant?
Yeah. But it is still. Let me say, we're doing this interview at midday, and it's still the middle of the night for me. I should be fast asleep.
Yeah. When did you fly then? When did you come over?
2 days ago.
Right.
So I've had 2 nights.
And did you come west or east? Oh, you came.
We flew south-north. Oh yeah, in a
you went
westerly
east.
trajectory.
Yeah, so that's worse, isn't it?
Yeah. So they told me.
I'll go the other way. I'll go LA, Honolulu.
The really nice way is to go by boat.
What's that? 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be all right. Yeah. No, it is on my bucket list, and I do want to come, but it's a big venture for me.
Let me go back across headlands of time again. Your first job, what did you do? As a kid, you got a job, didn't you?
Yeah, I suppose my first proper job in an adult world where I got real money, if you don't count, you know, doing things for neighbours and making cups of tea. I think I was about 14, and I got a job in a factory in Wimbledon in the school holidays, and it was getting chunks of metal that they bend to make those trestle table things out of a vat of oil and grinding down the edges. It was horrendous. And I remember I was doing it, and a bloke on the next sort of cubicle went, "Who are you trying to impress? Slow down." And I realised that time and motion people were in. So they go slow that day. So, and then people say, "Oh, they could do these," and you get your bonuses.
So this was what was known as breaking down conditions, Governor.
Yeah. So I was ruining their chances.
Well, you're good at it then.
But it's a good advice. I took it. Are you trying to impress? Slow down. I took that advice on for the rest of my life.
No, but you are prodigiously productive.
Yeah. Yeah,
I hear you everywhere. My wife listens to your podcast at night.
I think that's because it's sort of like repeated. I don't feel I do a lot because I do everything myself. You know, each little project takes me sort of 3 years, but then I think, you know, it goes around the world and people listen to it again and again. It seems like I'm always around. And I'm always doing more than one thing at once just because I've got that sort of brain. But I don't really pop up in a lot of things if I haven't made it myself. And making it takes a lot longer than watching it. It's just that then people listen to it lots of times, or, you know, it just hangs around.
Did you ever try journalism? Because what horrifies me about the Gazette that you work for, that Peter worked for, is this is my life you're doing.
Yeah, so...
I mean, those appalling interviews, those awful things you get dragged to. All journos have been through that. Who informed you of this?
I don't know. Well, when I had no money, and I used to... Me and my girlfriend delivered a local paper, I think it's called Community News, and I think we got like £16 to deliver all these papers through people's letterboxes. And I was always fascinated by, you know, the tiny stories. And in Afterlife, I play a guy who works for the Tambury Gazette, and it's all stories like, you know, woman finds hat in tree, and fat cat lost. And
baby that looks like Hitler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's those silly
it's
little
my
stories.
Life. Stop it.
Yeah, I know. But I quite like that though. I quite like that. When I go to a new place, I always look at the local paper and see, you know, the headline, library book overdue. I love that. That's so much better than another 12 people stabbed to death. You know, if the headline on your local paper is something about, you know, stolen TV, you live in a nice place.
The best story I ever did in Britain was as a young reporter based here, living down in Highgate, was a boy who sneezed 30 times a minute. He lived with his
by himself?
Mum. No, with his mum in a council flat.
Yeah.
And the air was sodden. It was humidified because he'd been But, and it was, struck me it was a Gervais moment, because what happened, she said, there's only one way he can stop. If I put him in the wardrobe, and he'd go into this
what is this
cavernous wardrobe. Well, I thought it was Freudian. I thought it was returned to
That's
the womb.
amazing. And this poor kid, how old was he?
He was about 18 or 19.
So he just going, kill me.
He couldn't hold down a job.
Kill me.
But then when he goes into the wardrobe, the sneezing stops.
Wow.
And that's what happens when you open it up.
Do you think it was just dusty?
I think it's something for you. I give it as my gift.
That's amazing. And you covered that?
Yeah.
And what was he, did you interview him?
I covered that for a major nightly Australian television show.
Hold on, so wait. So he was in there, right, with a mum, right? And you were talking to him, and he was on camera, and he was sneezing.
That's right. He was, yes. And then he goes into the wardrobe, and I hear him muffled through the wardrobe, and he sneezes faintly in the wardrobe. And then she's running, so he'll stop in a minute completely.
Oh,
there. And then there's this blessed silence.
Oh, God.
And then I say, but what happens when you open the gate? And it starts again.
Right. Well, I think...
So, Dr. Gervais, what do you think?
Well, I think the mother wanted to get in the local paper.
Exactly. Well, she got it in Australia.
That's amazing. Oh, maybe it's a magic wardrobe.
Tell me about your musical career.
Oh, it was over as quickly as it happened.
Every kid wanted to be a rock star back then.
I did, yeah. I suppose that when I was sort of like a teenager, I discovered David Bowie, and I thought that was amazing. I thought, oh yeah, well, he's a working class kid. I can do that. And at college, I got signed as a duo. And I thought, this is it. I'm going to be a rock star. And then...
Did you play? Sing?
Yeah.
I must say, what's the name of the group?
Shauna Dancing.
Can I admit I've never heard of them?
Well, of course you haven't. It was all over in about 6 months.
But you got signed.
Yeah, we got signed, yeah. But that's the first rung on the ladder, isn't it? But in your head, you think this is it, you know. And the first single came out and it didn't get in the top 100. The second single came out and it got in the top 100, but not enough. And they just thought, nah, it's not working. They dropped us.
Did you write your own lyrics?
Yeah.
Can you remember them?
Yeah, but like I'm going to sing them now. Is that your hope? It's not going to happen.
I don't do theatre.
You've got more chance of getting me in a wardrobe. Okay. If you cut the bit about the kid, that sounds so weird.
It'll be on the cutting room floor. or in extra minutes on social media.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. To see the outtakes.
God knows what the editor's going to make of this.
I know, I don't know. I feel sorry for him. I blame you.
Can you just give me a line without singing? I don't want you to sing it, but is it a love song? Is it...
well, I suppose so.
Social commentary?
I think everything was sort of...
It's not, I don't believe in God, so there.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It wasn't like an anti-hymn.
No. A rational anthem.
There was the first song was called the first song was called More to Lose.
More to Lose.
More to Lose, yeah. And that was like a really bright sort of... I remember one of the first reviews that I thought was amazing, and I've remembered it to this day. It was something like, it was crazy, right? But the paper was like some Huddersfield Journal. So I was thinking, why wasn't this... It says something like, this is the best single I've ever heard. Right? It has all the pace, purpose, and perfection of Roxy music, right? And I was thinking, what? No one's going to read this. This is the best review ever. But then that all went away, and I bummed around for a while trying to do it. It didn't work. And then I got my first sort of proper job in about 1989 in an office, which was The Office. And I stayed there for about 9 years, and I made mental notes, and then I wrote about it.
And what was that office job?
I started off on reception, and then I became, I think, a publicity person, and then I became events manager, and the first demo of The Office, I went back to that real office and filmed it with just sort of like friends. And that's what I showed the BBC.
Did you hate the job, or did you realise this was a long apprenticeship for the comic genius?
It was close to my house. I had friends there. I went to the bar afterwards, and it was a nice 9 years. Not particularly well paid, not particularly vocational, but I sort of enjoyed it. And I wasn't sitting around thinking, damn, when am I going to become an international comedian? It just doesn't. It doesn't happen like that. And then when I left that job, I went to work on a local radio station called XFM, and I popped up on air, and Channel 4 was starting a new show called the 11 o'clock show, where they were using new and unknown sort of comedians. And they said, do you want to come along for an audition? And I went along, and I popped up on that, and that was my first sort of taste of real fame, I suppose. Meantime, I was already sort of writing The Office.
What did Churchill say when he was quite old and he became Prime Minister? He said, my whole life has been but a preparation for this moment. Remember?
Well, exactly. There's a famous quote. Picasso, towards the end, used to sort of sign little doodles for charity, and people would queue up, and they'd pay him, $200, and he'd do a little squiggle. And one lady famously said, "You're charging me $200 for that. It only took you a few seconds." And he says, "No, madam, it took me my whole life." Which is great, Yeah. So I do think that. I remember when I won the BAFTA, right, for David Brent, the first BAFTA I won, and I was at home that night, sitting there with Jane, and 41 years old with a BAFTA there, and I said, "Why didn't I do this earlier?" And she said, "Because you wouldn't have been any good at it. You had to live a real life."
Jane, your lifelong partner.
Exactly, and you have to live a real life to be able to write about real life. It's mad. You can't, same.
That's right, because you're not a comic actor. You're a comic, aren't you?
Yes, I think so. And the lesson I learned with trying to be a rock star was I shouldn't have wanted to be a rock star. I should have wanted to be a musician. And so when I came to this, I knew I was a writer-director. I knew I wanted to be a creator. And the rest were upshots. Being in it, the fame was an upshot, but I wanted to create comedy, create narrative comedy and stand-up comedy, and say something that I meant, And you use everything in that, you particularly with stand-up. You use everything you've ever known or believed or,
And you've never forgotten anything, I suspect.
Well, but I probably...
You squirreled it all away.
Well, I think so.
For the 40-year moment.
I probably have forgotten lots. But again, when I'm doing stand-up, I don't think people want to know what happened to you in the last year or what it's like to celebrity. They want to hear things about school, and I talk about my family, I talk about my brother, and I talk about school teachers, and they sort of feel it. It's visceral. They know that you're talking about, this is why you're like you are. You don't need to spell it out. I tell a story about me at 14, and people go, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
And they identify with it. Everyone went to school. Everyone's got, a family.
It must be an extraordinary feeling to get that feedback and know that it's working in front of a live audience.
Well, a live audience is great. It is my favourite thing now. I fell back in love with stand-up on the Humanity tour because I've remembered what such a privilege it is, and I think it was my rawest and most honest, and I do talk about more personal things than I ever did before. But
Humanity is wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
I realised when I watched that this interview would be no good at all because there'd be no tension because there is nothing we disagree on.
Well, I'm sure there is.
Well, the fact that you won't have a beer at midday, but other than that.
It's a slippery slope, mate. It's all right for you. It's midnight for you, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
See, I'm not on your time clock. Still got the 6 o'clock watershed.
We have been talking, because time flies with you, but we've been talking for, must be half an hour, and you haven't used what people call bad language once.
I never swore in front of my mum. Oh. I can do it. I've never sworn accidentally
but I'm not
on
your
television.
Mum.
No, I know. What do you want me to swear?
No.
Well, okay.
My wife said, don't let him swear.
I probably have.
She's your greatest fan. She said, don't let him say cunt because you're get in so much trouble.
Are you going to leave that in? Yeah, I haven't got a problem with bad language. And there's this myth that goes around. People say, oh, anyone can get a laugh out of swearing. I want to go on then.
That's right.
Go on, come on. Right, there's 10,000 people here waiting. Go and swear. Make them all laugh.
It doesn't work. It works with Billy Connolly. It works with you.
Well, it works if you're using it well. Yeah. There's nothing. You can't do anything that just automatically gets a laugh. No one can just go and there's no rule for that. It's ludicrous, and I think people don't know what work goes into it. It's the same as when I touch on a subject. There's probably 20 taboo subjects in Humanity and another 20 in my new one. And taken out of context, you could say, "Oh, that's a terrible thing to joke about." But we got to look at the joke. And I get this from journalists. They say, "Is there anything you wouldn't joke about?" And I say, "Is there anything you wouldn't write about?" It doesn't make sense. No. And that's what I'm doing. I'm discussing a subject in a quick, funny way. It's nonsense. People on radio shows discuss, oh, should he be joking about that? I'll go, well, you're talking about it. That's what you do. So why can't I joke about it? It depends on what the joke is.
Can you tell me one thing about bad language? Why is it in Anglo-Saxon the most offensive words are to do with sexual bodily parts? Why is that?
Because it's what we are, isn't it? It's
because not all cultures are like that.
Really?
No.
Oh, well,
if you said to an old Malayan woman, if you said, "Mother, death, you are death face," that would horrify her.
Well, of course. I mean, there's different, cultures worry about different things, and that happens when I do use the C word on Twitter when I call some sort of animal torturer. And I talk about it in Humanity. I talk about a thing where they're skinning dogs alive, and someone says, "Is that language necessary?" And I say, "You're more worried about a word than someone torturing an animal to death." And she came back, "I just hate the C word." And I sent back, people who hate the C word would hear it a lot less if they didn't go around acting like such cunts. And then I get flack, particularly from America, saying that's misogynist. Or I said, no, not in England and Australia it isn't. There's
Do you
no
ever
misogyny.
say the thing and then say, "I shouldn't have said it"?
Yeah.
Do you censor yourself as you go, or
of course? Of course
a
I do.
moment later.
People think I go around saying, well, I don't. You do, of course you censor and you think about it and it's calculated. People think I go out, and host the Golden Globes and I'm just riffing and saying the worst thing I can think of. It's nonsense. I want a joke to be bulletproof. I want to be able to defend it in 10 years' time. So, these are thought out. And so when people does an article about saying, this was offensive, this routine is offensive, I think, well, I spent a year doing that, and 800,000 people saw it and laughed. You've spent 10 minutes thinking about that article. Which one of us is likely to be right? You know? So, no, I'm militant. Right, you know, freedom of speech is fantastic.
It's extreme rationalism, is what we're talking about.
Well, there's no better way.
No.
There's you know, I can say what I want. You can be offended. You can hate me for it. That's the consequence. You can hate me for it, and you can say worse back to me, and then I can care or not, and then and so it goes on, and that's what discussion is. And you know, being offended, good. It means you're thinking about something.
What's the free society that you play to? I mean, in America, they've got freedom of speech in writing. It's in the Constitution.
There's parts of America I won't play. I didn't say I was a brave man. No. There's still 13 countries.
It's in the Constitution.
But there's still 13 countries where I could be executed for being an atheist. Really? So I avoid them as well. You know, you know, I probably do play the most liberal places in the world where, you know, people aren't going to get offended and shoot me or you know, execute me. But, you know, again, I'm an atheist. I don't run into churches and say this is a load of bollocks. It's not the forum for it. But when I'm tweeting and when I'm doing stand-up, that's my church. You've come in, this is my house, my rules. If you don't like it, you can leave. You can leave. That's your form of protest. You can leave and never watch me again. You can tell people I'm an arsehole. Good luck to you. But I'm going to carry on saying what the fuck I want.
You have ruminated on death. You've got a long way to go yet, but what will death be like when it comes?
Well, the best thing about death is you won't know about it. It's like being stupid. It's only painful for others. So I'm not bothered by it. I don't care about being dead. I worry about how I die.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to be found in that wardrobe wearing tights with amyl nitrate in the rope round my neck.
Yeah, there are some very silly ways to go.
Yeah. If that does happen, I'm not into that shit. So one of my mates has stitched me up. Let me just make that clear, okay? Probably him. There's a kid next to me sneezing.
There is a rather splendid old Georgian wardrobe.
Yes, there's something wrong with him, I tell you.
Animals.
We're going to read about him in a few years. And all the crew are going to go, yeah, we knew. He was always like, we always knew. We knew.
Don't make Michael Hutchins joke.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Australians are going to love you. You really must come on down.
I will one day. No, I love the idea of it. I know loads of Aussies as well. One of my best friends is out there, and no, it's yeah, great.
Tell me about your concern about animals, because that is something you do get outraged about.
Yeah, I do.
Cruelty.
Yeah, I do. And again, when I say you know, there's nothing you shouldn't joke about. People say, well, you're offended by, you know, people torturing animals. Yeah, that's actually torturing an animal. Joke about it all you like, just don't actually do it. See the difference? I've never understood it. I've never understood cruelty to animals. I've never got it. You know, I was brought up with pets, and it's a privilege. It's just a privilege to be on this earth with this diversity and these brilliant creatures. And I talk about a new stand-up that, you know, it's called Supernature, and it's me debunking the supernatural. I said, I don't believe in anything supernatural. I think by definition, if something exists, it's part of nature. Yeah. And I conclude that anyway, nature is super enough. And it is. We don't need...
Evolution is an extraordinary process.
It's
And it
amazing.
makes sense of everything.
It makes sense of everything. 3 billion years from a little blob of protein that could replicate itself to... I say to us, but we're not the pinnacle. That's a misconception. Yeah. We're no more evolved than any other creature that is still around, by definition. No. We all share the same DNA. We're
same building blocks have made you, me, and
exactly.
a cockroach. Yep.
Exactly. And some could say that, you know, they got it right early on, and we're still evolving. We're just a great ape. I think people think that we're the pinnacle because we're the most intelligent animal, arguably, but then intelligence works for us, but you know, it's not the only thing that helps. You know, things are around. They don't need to be smart. They've got other ways that's what we're just trying to stick around.
Because we are an ape that can contemplate the universe. And contemplate the meaning of life.
Yeah, we're
and can stand on a stage and make jokes about it, but still succinctly try and make people think about why we're here.
Well, I do talk about that in my new show, that we do ponder the universe, and it always comes back to us. It always comes back to us. You know, why are we here? Why are we? Well, we just are. And I suppose that's personal. Why are you here? Well, we just happen to be here. We couldn't choose it. The chance of us being born, that sperm hitting that egg, is 400 trillion to 1. We're not special, we're just lucky. And this is a holiday. We didn't exist for 14.5 billion years. Then we got 80 or 90 years, if we're lucky, and then we'll never exist again. So we should make the most of it. And there's loads of reasons why you can say we're here. It's more what you do with it. It's to eat and drink and make friends and have fun and learn.
Make, as you do, make people laugh.
Make people laugh. Oh, there's no better privilege. There's no greater privilege than making people laugh. And I realise that. I always did it, but you know, I feel I'm happy with myself being a comedian now, because it's it's not saving lives like a doctor or securing a beachhead and freeing people from a tyranny.
It may do a lot more good than you're conceding.
Well, we just want to get through life. We just want to think it was
worth living. We need to laugh along the way, don't we?
Well, I just think that when you're more unhappy than happy, there's something wrong, and you've got to do something about it. And if you're mostly happy, then keep going, you know. And if I stop enjoying life, or I have no quality of life, or I'm in pain, I'll pop into a chemist and take the pill. Hopefully, it'll be available by then.
There's a lot of stuff you worry. There's a lot of stuff you worry about. Trump, Brexit, whatever. But are you optimistic in the long run?
Well, I think I am.
The long run being that the Earth will be around for another few million years.
That doesn't bother me. That's, you know, I'm optimistic in that I think we're here to enjoy it and help other people enjoy it. And if we can surround ourselves with sort of, you know, a bit of joy and laughter, or even contentment, and, you know, lack of pain, lack of anguish, you know, a sense of justice, and there's nothing more that we can have done. It's amazing that we're here. As I say, it's like we're tourists, and we'll never exist again, and that's fine, because we won't know about it. It's never bothered me. But I am optimistic. I think that I'm optimistic because I think logic and science and kindness will win over this fear and this nonsense and this irrational return to the Dark Ages. I think that if there's a meteor heading for Earth, a few billion are prey to their god, and then a few hundred geniuses, scientists, will send up Bruce Willis to stop it.
This is the gospel according to Ricky Gervais.
What do I care?
You are bringing us a message of hope sometimes, I think, in your
There's
comedy.
nothing we can do about it. We're gonna die. Everyone we know is gonna die. We're all gonna be dead
Acceptance
and forgotten.
rather than hope. Then
Yeah, you know, that's it. It's like parties don't last forever. You know, and nor should they. People would hate to live forever. They'd hate it.
We should make it as good as we can, as long as we can.
Yeah.
So what about climate change?
Well, look, listen.
What about the fact we're not doing anything about it?
No, the first debate is it real or not? Of course it's real. Of course it's real. Is it going to be devastating and destroy the Earth? I don't know.
London could be a bit warmer today. I wouldn't have complained.
Yeah, well, there is that, isn't there? As I say, I think that
I was joking.
I won't be around. No, it is. You know, it probably is. We've had an amazing
It's so delicate,
summer.
isn't it? 1 degree is making so much difference. You know?
Well, half a degree makes a difference, and I think what people don't realise is it's not just going to be about some places turning to desert and people being frazzled and all that. That half a degree makes a difference to the number of microbes and parasites. Right? We're already running out of things that stop them. We're already running out of chemicals and immunities that work. Okay, and so it's going to be that's what's going to kill us. Everyone's going to have the worst cold and flu. They're going to be in a wardrobe trying not to sneeze. Everyone's going to die in their wardrobe sneezing to death.
I wish I hadn't introduced that because we almost have to use it now because you keep referring back to it.
You got to use it. You got to use it. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. As I can, that's the good thing as well. Like whenever I say something stupid or something goes wrong, I go, it doesn't matter. We're going to be fucking dead soon.
Yeah. Actually, you're very difficult to question. I did write down a few questions, just what's the point? What's the point? But I know there is one question that I do want to ask you, and that is, and it's about whether you're in touch or not, how much is a pint of milk?
Damn, I still don't know. We don't have real milk in the house now. We have almond milk.
You've missed the point.
Yeah, I'm far too.
You remember what you said?
I don't know. I do. No, I do. Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for it.
Yeah. Do you know what? Embarrassingly, I still haven't bothered fucking looking it up.
But more than that, you said
50, 60p.
You said the next time.
Next time a journalist says that how much is a pint of milk, I'm going to say, here's £1,000. Run and get me one. What have I got?
What have you got?
That's all I've got on me.
That'll do. Okay. It's not very often I get paid for doing an interview,
It's making me feel funny. He's taking the 50 quid.
Thank you very much.
He's actually taken it.
I'll buy you a beer.
Unbelievable.
Oh, no, you can't.
That'd be the best beer ever. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. What,
are you sure?
No, not at all. What haven't I asked you
I don't know.
I should have?
I don't know.
Do you think you might be able to use the wardrobe in a...
Yeah.
I don't even want a credit.
When...
Especially don't want a credit.
When the stories come out about you in a few years' time, I'll say, he went on about that wardrobe with me as well. No, I enjoyed that. I don't know. Well, does it work? Is that enough for you?
Well, I think we're going to go for a walk in a graveyard.
Brilliant. I see we didn't talk about the show at all, did we?
Were we talking about the show enough?
It's getting that 50 quid.
Well, the producer over there...
There's lots of things about that. And the wardrobe is about the show because it was when you were a journo.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we thought that. Because we sat through that and thought, fuck, that's our life. How did he know that?
What,
the Gazette, Peter at the bloody Gazette. Those awful stories.
So the new show, a dark comedy, I'd say, not a sitcom. And it's, it's not a studio-based, no studio audience. It's shot more like a drama. And it's a serial, it's 6 parts. It's like one story. And it's about a guy, Tony, I play a guy called Tony. My wife dies, and it starts with a video of her that she's made herself in the hospital saying, if you're watching this, I'm not around anymore. I couldn't say this to your face. You could never hear how lovely you are, but you're lovely, but you're fucking useless. And she leaves a list of just mundane things like how to do the dishwasher.
This is so bloke, isn't it? Because I was thinking, if my wife died, she'd have to do that for me. I wouldn't know.
It must be our greatest fear. It must be not just because I don't know how to do housework. But I mean, he loses his soulmate, and you see that he's absolutely devastated. Yeah. And the flashbacks of home videos, it's just them having fun all the time. And now he's turned his heart to stone. He's a misanthrope who's trying to be a psychopath to cope with feelings because he just misses his wife. Nothing, and he nearly commits suicide, and he doesn't because the dog's hungry, and that gives him long enough to think, okay, I was going to die, and I don't care, so okay, I'm going to live on, right? and I'm going to punish the world for what's happened to me, and I'm going to start saying and doing exactly what I like, right? And he does, and it's like a superpower. And he's still depressed, and he still has his moments, but this is how he copes. And his friends that he worked with on the local paper, they're sort of trying to save the nice guy they used to know. And it's about that. And
in his asides and his ruminations, there's a lot of Gervais in him, though, isn't there?
Well, I think the thing
a
about...
lot of your material.
Well, I think that it's a superpower that we all have, but we're scared to use. We could go around saying and doing exactly what we wanted, but we don't like the consequences. So we don't say horrendous things because we want to be popular, or we don't want to hurt people's feelings. You know, when I lie to someone, if they say, "Oh, can you come to my party?" I don't say, "No, you're awful and all your friends are awful." I say, "I can't. I'm giving blood at the orphanage." You know, because I don't want to hurt their feelings. You know, so we could go around saying what we wanted, but it probably wouldn't work out well. But he starts doing it, and it's fun to watch. I think I choose things that that we would like to say, the things he says.
But you need to see the whole thing.
You have to see the whole thing.
You can't. Yeah, you can't just watch one episode.
No, it's the binge watch, and it's one long story. It's quite filmic. It's like 2.5 hours of this guy in free fall trying to get through, and it's got a bit of everything. It's funny. It's dark. He does become a little bit of this vigilante of free speech.
Do you always know it's going to work when you enter into these things?
No, but when you've got a good idea. So I knew it was a good idea. Imagine you lost everything, you were lowest, and you decided to say what you wanted, and then because he feels that I can always end it whenever I want. It's a lovely get out clause, and we've all got that superpower as well. And then you cast, and then, if you get the right actors, they can make it better than it was in your mind, yeah, it turned out better than I'd hoped, yeah.
If I was to ask your partner, Jane, is there a bit of him in you?
Yeah, but...
Or is that a mistake we make when we look at actors in comics, that we think that the material must inherently...
No, I think I'm more
inside.
angsty. I think I'm more worried than him about hurting people's feelings. I do worry when people took it the wrong way, socially. Like this interview, I'll go home and I'll be going to Jane, oh, and then I said that, oh, did that come across right? And then I said this, and oh, does that sound right? No, I will worry about, how I come across, what people think of me.
I'll be worrying while you're worrying.
And that's why I'm so confident when I create something.
Yeah.
When I'm confident in a joke, because I've looked at every angle, and I can go, no, I can defend that. Whereas socially, you say things on the cuff and you go, oh, that came across. Did he think I meant that? Or, oh my God.
Yeah.
So if anything, I'm much more confident in my work, in my art, because I've worked at it for 3 years, Yeah. Whereas socially, and I go, oh, why did I say that?
Yeah, you're making me think that being funny is such a serious business.
Well,
it's not a lot of fun being funny.
Well, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, but, you do have to make things bulletproof these days, because everyone's a detractor. Everyone takes things the wrong way. Everyone they stand on a stepladder and they look over someone's garden and they're offended by what they see. And I want to go, get off the fucking ladder. You wouldn't have seen it. People are looking for things to be offended about. And you just ignore them. Ignore them. So you got me worked up. Get me in the wardrobe.
My work here is finished.
Calm me down.
Okay. You're a very funny man.
Thank you. That was fun. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long. Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So...
From mentioning Robert Downey Jr.'s addictions to trying to take his Emmy back from Steve Carell, that's why nobody roasts celebrities to their face like Ricky Gervais. When it was time to introduce Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, Ricky did something no one expected.
What can I say about our next two presenters? The first is an actor, producer, writer, and director whose movies have grossed over $3.5 billion at the box office. The other is Tim Allen.
But it didn't stop there. The two of them went up on stage and returned the joke.
You know, like many of you, we recall back when Ricky Gervais was a slightly chubby but very kind comedian.
Yeah. Neither of which is he now.
Outside of award shows, Ricky doesn't take a break either. When he went on David Letterman's show, there wasn't a single visit where the host didn't become a target.
Why didn't you do more than 12 episodes?
Because I was tired. I think that...
Tired?
I need to lie down. I got the attention span of a toddler. I can't believe you've done this show this long. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either.
I can tell your heart's not in it anymore.
No,
but I couldn't
care less anymore. You look pumped, buffed, and cut. You are ready to go.
Thank you.
When did this happen, for God's sakes?
It's been a gradual process.
Yeah. Well, what is your goal?
Over 50 years. Started off really small.
Yeah. And what's the matter with your voice?
I've got a sore throat.
Ah.
So that's it.
How long have you had the sore throat?
Just a couple of days.
See, now I had a sore throat around the holidays.
It's all about you, isn't it? It's all about you.
Yeah. You see what I'm doing there?
Yeah.
Here, you try it.
No, I can't.
Come on. This will get rid of...
Sorry, how is this not a breakdown? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm trying to help you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, you can get this, all 7 episodes, available for streaming.
I've never seen you so animated. That was amazing.
Thank you. On Netflix.
I thought you were giving up.
Okay.
I honestly just thought you were seeing this out, waiting, biding the time out. I was thinking of I Wouldn't Be Long Till I Was There. And now...
Well, you think maybe I should? Maybe.
No, you've got a second wind to go for it. Why would you...
And Mel Gibson definitely didn't see this one coming when Ricky introduced him at the Oscars.
I haven't offended anyone. I didn't mean... It's not my fault. There's a lot of powerful people here, so if I said... It's... Honestly, I like a drink as much as the next man. Unless the next man is Mel Gibson.
Years later, there was an apology that sounded more like another disguised joke than anything else.
Listen, a few years ago on this show, I made a joke about Mel Gibson getting a bit drunk and saying a few unsavoury things. We've all done it. I wasn't judging him, but now I find myself in the awkward position of having to introduce him again. Listen, I'm sure it's embarrassing for both of us, okay? And I blame NBC for this terrible situation. Mel blames... We know who Mel blames. Listen, I still feel a bit bad for it, right? Mel's forgotten all about it, apparently. That's what drinking does. No. I want to say something nice about Mel before he comes out. Oh yeah, okay, here you go. I'd rather have a drink with him in his hotel room tonight than with Bill Cosby. Please, Malcolm. Mel Gibson.
Now, if there's a favorite target for Ricky, it's Steve Carell. The two of them starred in The Office in different countries.
You probably know me as the creator of The Office. No, you don't, do you?
You think Steve Carell did it all? Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he, Steve Carell? He's amazing as the bumbling office manager. Where does he get his ideas from? Let's pay him hundreds of millions of dollars and put him in every movie.
It sounds like a serious rivalry, but it's all in good fun. At least that's what they say.
Our next presenters are two of the funniest people in America. She stole the show on Saturday Night Live, then went on to create, write, and star in her own show, 30 Rock. He was a jobbing actor, career not going that well if I'm being totally honest, who got his big break when I cast him in a remake of a show that I created called The Office. He's now leaving that show and killing a cash cow for both of us. Please welcome the wonderful Tina Fey and the ungrateful Steve Carell.
But this host learned the hard way that bringing up the show around Ricky comes with a price.
Of course, you play, in the UK version of The Office, play the boss. What is the weirdest excuse that you've ever heard?
You say the UK version.
Yeah.
I call it the original.
Yes, well done. You're well done. Well done. It's true. Wow, that didn't expect me.
Most people think Steve Carell came up with it.
Even when introducing Johnny Depp, who's one of his best friends, Ricky found a way to turn the moment into a joke.
This time last year, our first presenter was the biggest movie star on the planet. But I insulted his film The Tourist, causing his career to plummet so far that he was forced to work with me on my new show, Life's Too Short. Please welcome the man who will wear literally anything Tim Burton tells him to, Johnny Depp. It's real. You can have some.
Just checking.
Yeah. And be honest, are you on recreational drugs? I'm joking. No, that's not the question. And we all know the answer. Have you seen The Tourist yet?
No.
But the tables turned, and in a BBC special, Johnny got his revenge.
Because I actually got together with a few pals after the awards, and we wrote some jokes about you. I want you to know this. No one makes fun of Tim Allen on my watch. Here are my jokes. What is nastier than Ricky Gervais's jokes? His teeth. Why do people take an instant dislike to Ricky Gervais? Because it saves time. Now this is from Angelina. Tell Ricky Gervais that me and Brad have a picture of him on our mantelpiece because it keeps the kids away from the fire.
The friendship between the two is always filled with a lot of laughter and some very strange stories.
Johnny, everyone thinks he's shy, okay? But he wasn't shy this day, and he's got a wicked sense of humour. If people knew what he was really like, his career would be over. So in one scene, I'm sort of helping Warwick get shoved down the toilet, as you do, right? And I'm sort of bending his legs in. I'm going, it's all right. If it breaks, we'll get another one in, right? And I'm pushing him down the toilet, and I'm laughing, and Warwick's laughing. And at one point, Warwick goes, look at Johnny! I turn round, and Johnny Depp is going, you don't mind if I masturbate while you're doing that?
And when he roasted Robert Downey Jr., he ended up touching on a complicated subject.
He's the star of Iron Man, Two Girls and a Guy, Wonder Boys. Sorry, these porn films. What? Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang. Bowfinger. Really? Yeah. Up the Academy. Come on. He has done all those films, but many of you in this room probably know him best from such facilities as the Betty Ford Clinic and Los Angeles County Jail. Please welcome Robert Downey Jr.
What he didn't expect was for Robert to fire back just as hard.
Aside from the fact that it's been hugely mean-spirited with mildly sinister undertones, I'd say the vibe of the show is pretty good so far, wouldn't you?
And look what he said when he heard Rebel Wilson's stories.
Yeah.
Is it real that you did want to be a rapper, you and your sister?
Yeah, because there's no African Americans in Sydney, so like white people like to rap. And I had a little group with my sister Liberty.
I never knew you were this weird.
Really?
You kept it. We worked together for a couple of days. And
I know.
You're absolutely mental.
In a nice way?
Yeah.
The guy is so good that before you realize it, he's already roasting someone. Even Angelina Jolie ended up in his crosshairs without seeing it coming.
You can be anywhere. You could be in the third world, okay, and you get a glimpse of a Hollywood star, and it makes you feel better. You could be a little child, a little Asian child, with no possessions and no money. But you see a picture of Angelina Jolie, and you think, oh, Mummy.
But Ricky doesn't limit himself to award shows and interview programs. In this debate, he destroyed Piers Morgan's entire argument with just one sentence.
Iowa has been giving out gun permits to blind people. Not just partially blind, but completely blind people who aren't allowed legally to drive cars. And they gave an example of, if they were fully sighted and used a gun, just because they lost their sight, why should they lose the constitutional right to continue having a gun?
Yeah, well, it's a difficult one. But the short answer is because they can't see what they're shooting.
Piers even tries to recover and come out on top, but Ricky doesn't let him.
I would not be able to carry a gun here in New York, but I could carry one in, Dallas, or I could carry one anywhere. Really? I go to Walmart in Houston and buy one. They'll be on the wall. I can't buy a Kinder Egg, those little eggs with little toys in, because it may choke me, so they're a health hazard. But where the Kinder Egg would be sold in a British store, they instead have an AR-15 assault rifle.
Dear America, please let Piers buy a Kinder Egg. but don't let him buy a gun.
Jonathan Ross had the same problem. He tried to save a joke that didn't land, and Ricky didn't let it slide.
Do you need to advertise to sell out tickets?
No, in fact, I don't know why I'm here. See you later.
No, here's why I was asking about the tour, because I noticed you did advertise all over the place, and I thought partly you don't need to, and partly I thought, well, presumably...
What do you mean I did advertise all over
Well, I
the place?
saw some adverts in magazines and stuff like that.
Where would you advertise? In public toilets?
No, but yeah.
What are you talking about?
Depends
What
on the audience you're trying to take. But
what are you talking about?
I'm saying...
if you're working up to a joke, just do it, because I'm getting bored.
Of course he has his limits, and he admits there are some people you probably shouldn't roast.
I've got nothing negative to say about these next two presenters, because the big one could snap me in half. So please welcome Zoe Kravitz and Jason Momoa.
And when Jennifer Lawrence talked about pay equality in Hollywood, Ricky saw an opportunity and didn't miss the chance to turn it into a joke.
Jennifer Lawrence made the news when she demanded equal pay for women in Hollywood, and she received, overwhelming support from people everywhere. There were marches on the street with nurses and factory workers saying, how the hell can a 25-year-old live on 52 million? This is... There were plumbers around the world going, poor girl in town, what's fucking hell? So...
This next guy was actually doing fine during the interview, but when it was time to say goodbye, everything went downhill.
Yeah. Proud of you, mate. It's wonderful to see you again.
Very much. Junior, you are... it's horrible. It feels worse than it looks. Imagine that. Just think of that. So look at that, right? And then imagine it feels and smells worse than it looks.
I'm married.
And imagine what it tastes like. Christ.
Yeah, thanks. I'll show my missus that one, Ricky. Yeah, thanks, mate.
And when he went on Conan's show, he left Conan O'Brien not knowing what to say.
How are you? Nice to have you here.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Yeah.
Nice new studio.
This is new. This is a new experience, yes.
Yeah, it's great to...
Giant moon, big fake moon behind you.
Actually, the studio was easier to find than the channel on the TV. So I'd like to do one, with showrunners,
with talk show hosts?
Yeah.
You should do one with talk show hosts.
Yeah, I was thinking that just the crew. Me, Leno, obviously, brilliant. David Letterman, King, and Jon Stewart. It was just.
And then anyone else? I mean, there could be.
We could do two. I mean, there's a lot of chat shows, so we could do two. Maybe. Who else is there? Craig Ferguson. He's great. Jimmy Fallon.
Right. And then what if you expanded it and got even more people in there? You could probably
Larry Sanders.
Okay, Larry Sanders is fictional.
So I'm running.
Come on!
But the best part came afterward, when he started explaining how he writes his jokes. And right in the middle of the explanation, he roasted Conan himself.
But, I'm not going to go out there. I'm not trying to ruin their night. I'm making jokes, And also, I do it about things they've done, not about things they can't help. So, I think I'm fair. Do you know? I know,
yes.
But you know what I mean?
No, you're not making fun of a way they look or how they were...
I wouldn't come out and go, oh, look, it's a ginger Frankenstein. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Alan Carr just wanted to offer him a drink, but he didn't escape the joke.
Right, let me get you a drink. What do you fancy, my love?
None of that silly stuff. Your drinks cabinet is what's left over after 3 years and you look through a cupboard. That you buy things that you would never drink. What's that?
I've got a few teddies here. Shop. Oh, look at you now. Oh, yeah.
I have a lager,
You're like a tramp in Thimble Smith. Yeah. No funny business. There you go.
Not on this show.
No, it's a joke. That's a joke.
And look at this time, Ricky roasted Joe Pesci.
Lots of big celebrities here tonight. I mean, legends, icons, yeah? Look, at this table alone. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Baby Yoda. That's Joe Pesci, sorry. I love you, man. Don't have me whacked.
And Jimmy Fallon even tried to tell a joke the way Ricky would, but it didn't go very well.
Check this out, you guys. A town in Minnesota has canceled plans to change the name of a street called Stoner Avenue. It's a weird street, and instead of saying stop, all the signs say, chill, bro.
Sorry. Yeah, you're not giving them, they come out.
They've parked their cars, they've got babysitters, they haven't paid. Why would you? That'd be mental. But if I was you, I'd be going, thank you so much to these people, and giving them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm not doing that.
It was shoddy. It was, I mean, you know, you didn't write it, and that's... But do it like it's your... Do it like you were clever enough to come up with this joke yourself, okay?
And when Joy Behar tried twice to make some pretty serious accusations against Ricky, he didn't let it slide.
Well, when you go on the Golden Globes, a lot of time you are politically incorrect and hilarious, of course.
That's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that, just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right, you know? It's...
Said I was sure the Golden Globe would go to the team that airbrushed that poster.
Yeah.
A little sexist.
No, it's not. Why is it sexist?
Well, because the girl is saying that the girls are older and they need to be airbrushed.
No, I think they look great at their age.
Oh.
Why hide it?
Oh.
I don't think that you lose your sensuality or your beauty because you hit 53. I'm saying, why are they hiding it?
Oh, I see. That's not what people got.
And on Graham Norton's couch, when Teeny Tempa started talking about his animals, Ricky didn't miss the chance to crack a joke right away.
I really love the idea of being surrounded by exotic animals. So in my house, I have like a zebra and I have a giraffe as well.
Wow.
But not like a real one, but like a... It was real before.
Yeah. A dead one. Yeah, a dead one. So a sore throat with a giraffe is serious. It's really fatal. It's really bad. You've got high ceilings then in your house.
Very.
Always drinking. I need one that died drinking. They never do that with animals, do they? They never have taxidermist animals. They're just like that.
Jonathan Ross tried to compliment Ricky's new show and ended up becoming the target.
Congratulations on getting a second series, essentially, but also...
Congratulations on already fucking it up. It's next week, you moron.
But away from the cameras, we're the closest of friends. So when does it start? It starts on the 14th, is that right?
Yeah, it's a week yesterday.
Okay.
It's a week yesterday.
Do you think it's better than the last series? Is it
I think it's funnier. I think it's the funniest thing we've done. I mean, I don't know what better means. I don't think it'll have the emotional resonance of The Office, and we didn't want it to have. You're a film reviewer. You should know these words.
That was like a proper answer to a proper question then.
I know. So you'll cut it out.
No.
But when he realized Ellen was messing with him, he joined in on the joke the same way.
Ellen, name 3 shows you binge watched.
Binge watch Game of Thrones,
Just Game of Thrones.
Just Game of Thrones. I couldn't think of anything else binge watching. Rectify. Now,
why don't you just lie?
Because I couldn't think of another show. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
You couldn't think of another show?
To binge watch. not to binge watch, I mean like...
Yeah, but also just lie. Just name 3 other... I'm not going to go, oh, you never binged watch that.
Yeah. Name 3 Tom Hanks movies.
Toy Story 1, 2 and 3.
Wow. No! Oh, no, we're not going to break yet. Hold on.